Strandberg, what are you doing? Strandberg had that big moment where you're searching online and you came across a video and you thought, what is that? To, wow, is that a real guitar? Is it missing the head? All the way to eventually down the rabbit hole to how can I get one? I think if we had to sum up Strandberg in one word when they really were in their heyday, would be unattainable. Now, this isn't a hate video. I like these guitars. I've had a few, I have one now. But
hold up, wait a minute, something ain't right.
Once you start peeling back the layers and seeing what you get for the price today and what's on the market, things get a little more interesting. There's no denying these look awesome. The futuristic headless design took over the internet for a while. There was that girl in the beanie playing in a field. There was Plini on stage doing his prog thing. Strandberg just really took the modern guitar identity and made it their own. I really do think Strandberg sound great. They do have a unique tone, but it's a little hard to quantify what it's like or how it's unique, but it actually does. If you play through a real amp, you'll really hear it.
That's pretty good.
I don't really buy the whole tone wood conversation, but there is something to it that maybe it's something that's headless or maybe there's some other factor to it, but it does have a unique nasally sound that sounds fantastic. A funny side note though is most people do not actually experience what they sound like. I asked on a Reddit forum what people's signal chains are, what people are doing, and it was like the official Strandberg forum, and almost everyone said they use Neural DSP, Gojira, and lots of compression with their Fishmans. So take for what you will how people actually use it. See, I wasn't lying, I do have one. Check this bad boy out. Besides the headless part, the one thing you'll probably hear the most about is the Endure neck. And let's see if you can really see it on here. Let's see if that shows up. Yep, you can see pretty good going up right there. And look how it changes all the way down, the trapezoidal shape all the way down to right here. I don't think that Endure neck is life-changing like people say. I'm sure there are people who really, it did save their arthritis and their hands, but overall I think most people could do without it. It's cool, doesn't really affect you either way, but it does add that modern vibe to the guitar that they're going for, that they're doing something different. It really does feel unique. It's part of the whole aesthetic when you pick one up. The main thing, though, that makes Strandberg amazing is how you can sit with it. Sitting this way feels amazing. You do have the cord kind of as an issue here. Propping it up classical, that is also a fantastic feeling to play. A lot of people play like this, and that's fine, but you are bending, hunching over, so you're not really getting the whole ergonomic factor. This is how I prefer if I'm sitting. All these cuts and bevels are amazing. That is probably their biggest selling point in my opinion. Now I don't really want to call this the negative section, but it's more of an honest look of what you're getting for the price, especially in light of the competition today. The Strandberg Achilles heel is probably the QC. And that's not just my opinion, that is Facebook forums, Reddit forums, YouTube reviews, it's everywhere. And it's not saying all of them are bad, it's just a little inconsistent for the price point. One of the biggest issues and qualms people have is that these are Indonesian made in a factory for this premium price point. You can get a high quality American guitar for about the same price. So for it to be Indonesian made, we expect nothing but perfection every time if you're paying $1,800 to $3,000 for a guitar. Up to $3,000 for a guitar. Another interesting tidbit is that some brands like PRS, their whole SE line is a third of the price and is known for the opposite, where they are consistent quality control on every guitar. And they're made in the same cord factory, I think, abroad in Indonesia too. And although they are boomer guitars, check it out. Check this bad boy out. Although they're known as boomer guitars, people of all ages, teenagers all the way up to boomer age, really love these. And look how pretty it is. And this was only 600 bucks. And the competition now is insane. There is stainless steel frets and modern necks everywhere. And even headless isn't that unique anymore. I'm not going to mention this one brand, but they are obviously trying to compete in this space with Strandberg. And if you read the forums, it's not looking pretty. People say they like the quality and the consistency even better than Strandberg, but these are half the price. For $2,000 plus, you're still getting Fishman fluence on most of the models. And these have been around for about a decade now, and they're on multiple brands, multiple models. It kind of brings a lifelessness to the brand when it's pretty stock on so many of the guitars. Whether it's the metal, the prog, different lineups, all have Fishman fluence on them. I do think it's cool that on their new N2 lines, they are branching out and they have these custom Fishman collaborations, and one of the 6 strings has the Sentient and Pegasus from Seymour Duncan. But for $900 to $1,000, you could get other guitars with all those same specs that also have a very modern prog feel today. I know not everyone's a fan of this guitar, but this is a modern prog machine. Stainless steel frets, Sentient and Pegasus as well. Rabia Masad endorsed it. This is just a phenomenal guitar. Locking tuners, the whole shebang. This has everything that you can get on the guitar, almost double the price. And this also screams the modern prog. The one thing I want to note is that this guitar does the thing that Strandberg does very well. And that is, I'll tell you at the end. And like I said, these feel great and the neck works fine. But if you haven't played a really thin shredder's neck, I mean a true shredding neck, you'll see the world of difference between this and something like that. Here, check it out. This Schecter right here with the Floyd, Sustainiac, everything right here, has such a thin neck that when I truly need to record a quick line, I don't reach for the Strandberg, I reach for this. It is whatever this wood material this neck is made out of, it is really smooth. And I don't know why or how to describe it, because you can shred on any guitar, but this is just effortless. And there's a few other guitars that do that too, and a little better than the Endurneck, I'll say. Here's another one, an ESP. And this neck, I also don't know what it's made out of. I can look up the specs in a second, but this is also a true shredding neck. It just is glossy and so smooth. Check that thing out. Another interesting note is on the hardware of these guys, and someone pointed out that the cheaper hardware on the Essential line, which is their budget line, is now the hardware on all their newer models, the N2 lines. And I'm not sure why you would do that. I don't know how accurate that is, but I'm not sure why you would do that. You should make it more premium. So there's just little frustrating items like that. Another interesting thing to note is from the cheapest guitar that they sell, on this one, for example, the standard, versus their prog with blue, beautiful finishes. I emailed Strandberg about the difference of this trem with that trem. And they said, oh, they're the same across all models. I believe it's the EGS7. So I figured, why would I get the one that's $1,000 more than this one for the same hardware? So take what you will with that. So, should you buy a Strandberg? The answer is yes, you should buy one. They do the most important thing a guitar can do, and they do it extremely well. They inspire you to play. When you see this on your wall, or even at a Guitar Center, you just have to play it. And there's a specific type of metal or prog that just comes right out of you when you play it. And maybe people view that as a negative, but it really does inspire certain types of music. But most of all, it really makes you feel a certain way, and it draws you in. You have to play it. It's not a guitar that will sit there collecting dust or that you haven't picked up in a week. You will play it very often. So I have to commend Strandberg. They made something that is very difficult to make, and they do that consistently well. Would I recommend you buy a new one? Well, if you have the money, do it. Why not? They look cool. They have this new trem system that just came out. Might as well. But for most of us, I would say find a used one, bargain it down as cheap as you can, and swap the pickups out. What I did with this one is I took out the OEM, but I added some Seymour Duncans on here, and they sound amazing. They sound very clear and crisp compared to the OEM pickups that were in here. And now this is one of my favorite guitars to play. And as you can tell from the interludes that have been playing throughout this video, I obviously enjoy playing this guitar. It inspires me. It's just frustrating to see some of the issues that have come up with it recently, but nonetheless, it is a very inspiring brand to play, and they have really pushed the limits of prog, of modern guitar. I'll make a future video comparing the OEM stock pickups that this came with the Nazgul and Sentient that I put in here. They are tight and crisp, and they do all the things you want them to do on a modern guitar. I'll make that comparison video. And if you're interested in learning to shred as a beginner, I'll put a link to my other channel in the description, along with a free checklist to get you started on that. So with that, have a good one. I'll see you in the next video.